Introduction. I'm Dr. Do Young-gang from Asan Medical Center. My topic is the ideal antithrombotic regimen after TAVI in patients without need for oral anticoagulation. The DEPT regimen in past TAVR RCT series used the conventional regimen with a 6-month clopidogrel and aspirin indefinitely. And the decision was based on expert consensus that each like a stent. And the rationale for treatment was to decrease stroke or MI risk. However, there raised some concern about the subclinical reflex thrombosis after 2017 that was published in Lancet about the in-CT, MDCT follow-up of the TAVI patient showed the reflex thrombosis, and it showed the dynamic pattern of the reflex thrombosis with anticoagulant therapy. It progressed to the hypoattenuating reflex thickening, and some patients with the hypoattenuating affecting motion and regressed with the anticoagulation. In partner 3 cardiac CT sub-study with about 400 and 435 patients showed that about 13% of the TAVI patients showed heart at 30 days and 28% at 1 year. And also it showed the dynamic patterns that appeared and disappeared by the medication or the patient situation. However, the important thing is that the number was still small, but in the patient with the heart showed higher trend of the risk of the stroke, TIA, and retinal artery embolism, like thromboembolic event. In our center's data, sinus valsalva thrombosis was also shown in ASAN TAVR CT registry. In 9 of the 190 patients underwent a CT scan after TAVR, subclinical embolic stroke noted in 3 patients on brain MRI, and all 9 patients with the sinus valsalva thrombosis was on DEPT and without anticoagulation. So there raised some concern that subclinical reflex thrombosis would make some cerebral thromboembolism or stroke or TIA related to thrombosis, and also would it make some reflex degeneration earlier. And we know that oral anticoagulation can reduce the reflex thrombosis, but we do not know that it would affect the patient outcome, and oral anticoagulation would improve patient outcome with a thromboembolic event. So this is a new concern about stroke or reflex thrombosis versus bleeding in old TAVI patient. So many RCTs evaluated antithrombotic regimens after TAVI, and almost all trials finished, and we now have the result. And today's topic is the patient with no indication for oral anticoagulation. I will review the first part. The antiplatelet and anticoagulation. Two strategies were tested. First strategy is the antiplatelet regimen with a single versus dual. First trial was the ARTE trial that was published in 2017, and with a small number of the patients, 111 versus 111. And it showed the low bleeding event in the aspirin, and similar stroke or TIA, MI, and death event in both groups. It's the definite result that the weaker antiplatelet can make lower bleeding. And this is the combined primary endpoint with the bleeding or ischemic event, also showed the trend of the lower in aspirin monotherapy group. The bigger trial, POP-TAVI trial, was published in NEJM 2020 with the 2 groups without indication of oral anticoagulant and with indication of the anticoagulant. And the cohort A without anticoagulant indication shows the lower bleeding risk in aspirin group and similar severe mortality ischemic stroke MI in both groups. So in the low intensity antiplatelet therapy with aspirin monotherapy could be justified because of the lower bleeding rate. However, the trials was not fully tested for the ischemic outcome. And the anticoagulation therapy also was tested with the NOACs. The anticoagulation plus minus antiplatelet versus dual antiplatelet was usually tested because the dual antiplatelet therapy was the standard at the time of the trial, the planning. First is Galileo with the rivaroxaban, and second is the Atlantis with the apixaban, and third is Adaptavir with the edoxaban. And Galileo trial randomized the TAVI patient with the rivaroxaban plus aspirin, and after 19 days, used the rivaroxaban 10 mg QD monotherapy. And other group used the DEPT and then aspirin monotherapy. The primary efficacy endpoint was the thrombotic events and death and stroke, and primary safety endpoint was about to major disabling or life-threatening bleeding. And the trial endpoint, efficacy endpoint, even the thrombotic or ischemic event showed worse event in the rivaroxaban group with a hazard ratio 1.35. And primary safety endpoint, the bleeding event, showed a trend of the increase in the rivaroxaban group. All-cause mortality was higher in rivaroxaban group. In the subgroup, a sub-study of the 4D CT scan at 3 months showed that reduced reflex motion and reflex thickening was better in rivaroxaban group. However, the clinical outcome was not related to this improving in reflex motion. The second trial was Atlantis with the apixaban. It was published in 2022, and it randomized 1,500 patients with a stratum with one indication of oral anticoagulant therapy versus no indication oral anticoagulant therapy. I will leave this stratum 2 that the patient without indication of the oral anticoagulation therapy was randomized to apixaban 5 mg versus DEPT. And the primary endpoint was a composite of death, MI, stroke, systemic embolic event, plus the intracardiac or bioprosthetic thrombus and other thrombotic event, plus major bleeding over 1 year follow-up. The primary endpoint was similar between groups. Because this was a superiority trial of the apixaban group, the primary endpoint was not met. And the subgroup analysis in the patient without indication of the oral anticoagulation therapy over 1,000 patients showed a trend of the lower event in apixaban group, but was not statistically significant. The outcomes in stratum 2 post-hoc analysis of about 1,000 patients, primary endpoint outcome looks a little bit lower in apixaban group. However, you can see that death, especially for the non-cardiovascular death, was higher in apixaban group. And valve thrombosis was lower in apixaban group, but other event was not different. So all trend shows that the anticoagulation decreases the reflex thrombosis. However, it's not related to the better clinical outcomes. So we evaluated the Adaptavir trial we think that a more weaker or softer NOAC with the edoxaban. It was the Adaptavir trial that was published last year. And the primary objective of the Adaptavir trial was to investigate the effect of edoxaban compared to DEPT for the prevention of reflex thrombosis and potential risk of cerebral thromboembolization and neurologic outcomes. We randomized 220 patients because the enrolling the TAVI patient was difficult at the time, and because and the number of TAVI was very small. We enrolled a small number of patients and used the surrogate outcome of the 4D CT at 6 months and serial brain MRI and neurological or neurocognitive functional test at baseline and 6 months. The patient was randomized by edoxaban versus DEPT with the aspirin plus clopidogrel. The inclusion criteria was the symptomatic AS underwent successful TAVR, and key exclusion was the established indication or contraindication to the anticoagulation or DEPT therapy. Study endpoint was the surrogate endpoint, incidence of the reflex thrombosis on 4D volume renal CT at 6 months. A secondary endpoint was the presence and number volume of new cerebral lesions on brain MRI and serial change of the neurological or neurocognitive assessment by the NIHSS, MRS, and MOCA, the grading system. And also we gathered the safety and efficacy clinical outcomes. The patient was enrolled in 5 centers in 3 countries, including Hong Kong and Taiwan. And sample size was calculated by the superiority, the hypothesis of the edoxaban group versus depth. We screened more than 700 patients, and 235 patients was randomized and followed. The mean age was 80, as usual in the TAVI trials, and STS score was 3.3 in the mean that was low risk patient, and many patients has the prior PCI history, but because the patient had not recent PCI that does not have the depth indication, absolute depth indication. And the major valve was balloon expandable valve, and the post-TAVI echo parameter shows that the acceptable range of the echocardiographic characters. And the post-TAVI CT, brain MRI, and neurologic assessment was performed in more than 90% of patients. We did a very hard job. And this is the primary endpoint of the valve reflex thrombosis in ITT population. Will show the trend of the lower in edoxaban group, but not statistically significant. And PP population, it was a bit significant. And reduced reflex motion and reduced reflex motion severe in also ITT and PP population showed a trend of the lower in edoxaban group. However, it was not significantly different because of the low patient number. But MRI endpoint did not show any trend of the better in edoxaban group. The new cerebral lesions and median number of total new lesion and median volume of total new embolic lesion did not show any benefit in edoxaban group. And also neurological and neurocognitive endpoints did not show any difference between groups. And importantly, the severity of heart with the extent of new lesions on brain MRI did not show any correlation. Also, the heart severity and decline of neurological assessment also did not show any correlation in analysis. The clinical outcome also is only 6 months outcome in small number, but did not show any difference between groups. The trial was on open label, and it can potentially subject to reporting and ascertainment bias. And also our trial adapted surrogate imaging endpoint. Therefore, our study was underpowered to detect clinical relevant difference. And follow-up period was relatively short, and also the long-term effect of the reflex thrombosis or antithrombotic strategies on valve durability is unknown by this trial. And our findings cannot be directly applied in patients with the clinical indication for oral anticoagulant therapy. So this is conclusion of the ADAPT-TAVR trial. The overall incidence of the reflex thrombosis on CT scans was less frequent with the edoxaban therapy, but it did not reach statistical significance. The incidence of new cerebral thromboembolism on brain MRI and new development of the neurological dysfunction were not different between two groups, and we could not find causal association of the reflex thrombosis with temporal related changes in new cerebral lesions and the clinical neurologic outcome. This is a summary of the previous RCTs for antithrombotic therapy after TAVR, and that all trials shows no benefit of the strong regimen compared to weaker regimen with the CEPT. So POP-TAVI Cohort A adapted conservative design. However, it's not compelling for clear decision making. Galileo showed triple hazard, death, thrombotic complication, bleeding with rivaroxaban plus aspirin over depth. Atlantis showed that apixaban has no benefit over standard of care post-TAVI. Imaging outcome favorable but clinically inconclusive. ADAPT-TAVR showed no relationship of valve thrombosis and cerebrovascular embolization and associated neurologic or neurocognitive dysfunction. Why RCTs for TAVR patient failed? In theory, if we use the anticoagulation, the patient would be better, but no result. Even no antithrombotics after TAVR was acceptable in Ocean TAVI registry. In patient without antithrombotic regimen showed similar bleeding and that adverse clinical outcome in old age TAVI patient. So the now guideline recommends for patients with the TAVI, aspirin is recommended in US guideline, and low risk of bleeding, short-term depth is recommended in some patient. ES guideline is more simple. In patient without OSE indication, lifelong single antiplatelet therapy is indicated, and routine use of oral anticoagulation is not recommended in TAVI patient. So this is a take-home message from my lecture. Subclinical reverse thrombosis has not been proven to affect the clinical outcomes per patient underwent TAVR. And this imaging phenomenon should not dictate the strong antithrombotic therapy for its prevention. And if subclinical reverse thrombosis is not clinically relevant phenomenon, less is more concept of the antithrombotic strategy would be optimal management for TAVI patient, especially for older patient. And this answer is adopted in current guideline with accept monotherapy. However, long-term clinical impact of reverse thrombosis and the impact of the use of NOAC for those patients need further investigation in younger population. Thank you for your attention.
Can you